Hey guys, and welcome back to another weekend roundup. This video we will cover the mods released in the Giants Mod Hub for the week of February 11th through February 15th. And boy, it started out slow, the Mod Hub, but it finished with a big flurry of mods. In total, 24 mods were released this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at the general Giants Mod Hub overview screen, and we'll take a quick look at all the mods. So here we are in the Giants Mod Hub, and basically they filled up all of page 1. So page 2 starts with Marwell Manor, which was the last mod released last week. So that means that page 1 is in its entirety all of this week's mods. And there are a serious number of them. So first off, we've got two Giant software mods, the Hauer XB Loader Arms and the Hauer SGS 2600. So the presence of these two mods introduces Hauer as a new licensed brand for Giants. We've got a pair of weights that came out early in the week, and the return of the Frameset Pack by Not Ready. This was an interesting mod that came out toward the end of Farm Sim 17, and it's good to see that it come back this early into 19. We also got an update to the Real Dirt Color mod from last week. Apparently there was a little bit of a snafu with mod compatibility that got quickly nipped in the bud. Got another script mod here, the Less Engine Brake Force. We'll talk a little bit about that mod once we get to the script section, which will be towards the end of the video. We had a few mods that relate to basically silage compaction. Got the HEVA 300 front packer by Vertex Design and a couple more further up the page. Got placeable ground decals we'll take a look at. We've got two mods this week that deal with placeable trees. See that there is likely something that was amiss in the standard game, and modders are quickly trying to fill in the gaps. We've got another multi-bale fork. We've got the bale trailer that goes along with the Giants Case IH or Case International 1660 harvester and 14-foot trailer. So this header. So this trailer goes along with that particular header. Then we see a pair of Giant software mods, the Burgman GTW 430 from Farm Sim 17, and yet another reskin of a Challenger, this time in an Anaconda skin. And then the Flurry of Friday. We've got placeable Euro Tunnel Pack. We've got 3 or 4 mods that are specifically related to forestry. Got the Ritter here, which is kind of a front loader grab. We've got the return of the ever impressive log winch. We'll just say the EGV 80AHK log winch. Here is the other mod that relates to placeable trees. An interesting fuel tank. We're going to take a look at this. It's kind of geared towards forestry, but how this fuel tank works is pretty interesting. Got another tractor here, the Deucefar Clearview, which will be clearly popular with the first-person players. And then we've got the BioBelts UM300 Forestry Mulcher. Got a placeable horse paddock. Got a silage compactor roller here, and then we've got the Delmer TSM 330L trailer. 24 mods in all. Now, we only saw one update in the daily updates testing thread, and that was for February 13th. And as of February 13th, there were still 248 mods pending testing. Now, of course, we got a flurry of mods that came after that, but where are we at in the count? It's hard to say. Are we below 200? I doubt it. We're probably hovering around 230, 235 mods, because inevitably, as Giants releases mods, more flow in. seems that the trend is that more are flowing in than are flowing out. So far we are basically treading water, treading ground around 250 mods, 225 mods. Let's hope that we can start getting this count whittled down a little bit more. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of these mods that got released this week, February 11th through February 15th. First one that we're going to take a look at is the Hauer loader fork arms, loader arms, front loaders. And we've got the XB150 and the XB190. And you can see at the bottom here, they range in horsepower range from 120 to 200 horsepower for the smaller XB150s. And the XB190s is rated from 180 to 280 horsepower. Let's go ahead and pick up one of each of these. There are no choices of color selection on these. Bigger ones are $12,000, $612 to lease, $120 per day, and $252 per operating hour. Whereas the smaller version is $6,500, $331 to lease per day, or no, initial lease, $65 per day, $136 per operating hour. Now we also have the Hauer fork with grapple. Sure, I am butchering this name, but that's just how we're going to do it here. And we have no other color choices. We get what we get, and we don't throw a fit. Total price is $44.50 with an initial lease price of $226, $44 per day, and $93 per operating hour. What we're going to do is we're going to, while we're here, pick up a small tractor and just see how they fit here on this tractor. Let's get one that's a little bit bigger. Uma. Alright, so here we go. Thing looks really nice on these. Larger variant. And then we've got the bucket here. These are both mods are by Giant Software, and both are for all platforms, PC and consoles. Good. Hook up to the small one here. They mount a little interesting. They don't mount very well into the front loader brackets that are on tractors. Be nice if they fit, you know, either this front loader adapter, or if for some reason they need a different connection that Giants in an update might be able to release said update with a option of picking the, you know, the Hauer loader arm versus the Stoll loader arms. For this one, this one's got a trick to it. Let's look at the F1 menu. Of course, left click up and down is the forks up and down. Left click side to side raises and lowers the bucket like this. And then right click side to side opens and closes the grapple. And right click up and down will change the tilt. So we can tilt the bucket either this way, or we can tilt the bucket this way. Kind of a high dump, if you will. Now, one interesting thing with the grapple is the ability, if you needed to, grab onto a bale or a log, for that matter. Then you get the bale grappled well there, but that should work. Actually, no. Look at that. Don't seem to be able to grapple onto a round bale. Let's try to grapple onto a square bale here. Oh. Interesting there. Interesting indeed. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the larger set of arms. See how these fit up with the case. Puma. Don't mash up very well either. Scaled well. Take a look at this. Its reach. This thing has some serious high dump potential. It would be nice if we had hose hookups for the front loader arms to the tractor, and if we had hose hookups from the buckets here to the front loader. Alas, we do not have those. Again, those are the Hauer H-A-U-E-R front loader arms and the Hauer bucket with grapple. Next up, we're going to take a look at the Hiva 300 front packer by Vertex Design. You're going to be able to find it here under Tools, under Disc Harrows. And we have the front packer right here. $6,500 to buy, $331 to lease, $65 per day, and $136 per operating hour. Now, this thing only requires a small 40 horsepower and is 3 meters in working width and works at 10 miles per hour. Take a look at this thing. Go, and it is 3-point hitch to the front, and as its name implies, you use it in the front to compact soil as a act of a cultivator action, and as a result of that, you can basically cultivate and seed, if you will, in one pass. Take a look at that. Since it's 3 meters in working width, you are somewhat limited to your seeding choices. You'll be able to, let's say, get the Amazon seeder and come over here and basically drop this thing down, and it will start to cultivate for you. Then you'll be able to seed right behind it. I would say it works best with seeders that are 3 meters in working width and are 3-point hitch attached, as opposed to trailed. Because when you go to make a turn with this, should you have a trailed implement, okay, it's just going to the trailed implement is just basically going to have a smaller turning radius And as a result of having a shorter turning radius, you're going to have some area that is going to be missed as a result of that. But 3-point hitch shouldn't be any problem. Shouldn't be missing anything. There you go. Pretty sweet, pretty easy, pretty simple. Gets the job done, and really that's all we need to worry about. And again, this mod is by Vertex Design. So up next, we've got the Lizard High Force fork. This is by 4D Modding and is available on all platforms, PC and console. And interesting enough, this fork is only available for telehandlers and wheel loaders. Here it is, pretty simple design. We've got a big frame, and then we've got 4 bale spikes at the bottom, and up a little bit, we've got 2 bale spikes on the side. We can change the color on this particular bale fork to whatever color we should so wish. And the fork is a base price of $1,200, $61 initial leasing price, $12 per day, and $25 per operating hour. We're going to go ahead and get one of each just to see how they look. Now let's change this one to bright yellow. Get the New Holland yellow. Do we have a New Holland yellow? Nope, we'll go with John Deere yellow. The New Holland wheel loader here. And the Massey Ferguson telehandler. See how these handle. So first off, let's take a look. They don't have any special function. They're pretty much they are what they are. Top doesn't extend. No type of locking script or anything going on here that you can enable and disable. Bales were here from a different video. We're just going to go ahead and basically make use of these. See how easy we can stack these bales into a 4-stack. Then once we get them stacked here, basically we will use the other forks to manipulate them around a little bit. Now where these differ from, let's say, the Black Sheep modding bale forks, is that Black Sheep modding bale forks actually have little spikes that you can extend into the bales. This particular model appears to just have spikes that pierce the bottom bale, or depending on how high you are up on that bottom bale with the bottom spikes, then it might also pierce the second bale. Example right there, piercing the second bale, and it's still giving plenty of support for the top bale there. All the bales hang on there pretty darn good. I mean, we were whipping around there in a pretty tight turn, getting some pretty good centrifugal force going on, and the bales were hanging in there pretty darn well. Now it doesn't quite look like, no, they're not quite matching up with the brackets here. It's kind of sad to see. Something I'd expect a little bit more out of the 4D modding group or bunch is that they would better match up with the telehandler connector there. Let's take a look and see how the wheel loader works. See, the wheel loader one matches up pretty darn good with the connector. Go ahead and get this round bale out of the way also. Like I said, with respect to the lizard forks, a great companion mod to this one would be that bale stacker that the Black Sheep Modding had came out with in 17. That was a 4 bale bale stacker. All right, holds on there real good. Not much you can say about a multi-bale bale spike is other than if it does or doesn't work, and these seem to hold the bales pretty darn good, and they definitely seem to be working quite well. Drop that here. Disconnect those. And our next mod we're going to take a look at is the Dorf Silage compactor by Agra Technic DSM. Go ahead and take a look at that. Go over here to Tools, and we go to Levelers. We've got the Dorf Silage, 3-meter silage compactor with a wheel on the side. This is an interesting thing. I'm interested to see how that looks. It is $7,500 to purchase, $382 initial lease, $75 per day, and $157 per operating hour. Has a 3-meter working width and 10 miles per hour working speed. Say if you're going through the silage bunker at 10 miles per hour, you're doing probably a pretty darn good job. Lease this up and hop back in our P5 here. Just see how this connects. Three-point. Oh, it is a heavy beast. Look at that. That thing is heavy. Let's see. Let's jump into the case here. And does the case have enough virtual junk in its trunk to pick this thing up without a massive front weight? This mod is for PC and console. Does indeed, so we don't have any problems picking it up with the Puma here. X here. B will lower and lift, and right click and left and right on the mouse will extend the wheel here. That obviously doesn't look right. So, let's see here. What? What could this be for? I was initially thinking that this might be a wheel that helps you keep it off the sides of the bunker. I am not well versed in silage compaction technology to really understand and know what that side wheel is for. So I am interested for anyone that that might be able to give me any information as to the benefit and the use of this side wheel. Be interested to know. Let's see, do we have hose hookups? We do indeed. We do indeed have hose hookups also for this particular mod. Pretty cool. And again, it is available for all platforms, PC and console. Put that down here. So next up, we've got the Frameset Pack, and this mod is for PC only. This mod comes in 2 packs, or 2 basic implements. First up, in the plow section, scroll over here, we have the Raw Disc V6000. Boy, that is an interesting set of colors, to say the least. Look at all those hoses. I hope this thing does have really nice hose hookup. So this is a 6-meter plow, has a working width, not a working width, but requires 215 horsepower and an operating speed of 7 miles per hour. There are no other configuration options here, and it costs $22,800, $1,162 to lease, $228 per day, and $478 per operating hour. Now, the companion to this particular implement can be found under cultivators, and it is the Frameset Roll 6500. It has a working width of 6.5 meters, 245 horsepower, is $11,500 to purchase, $586 to lease, $115 per day after that, and $241 per operating hour. Once again, this particular mod does not have any other configurational options. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get a big tractor to pull this thing. Go ahead and go with the big old T7 series. We're going to go ahead and up the engine on it. Get some wheel weights. And the way this works is you would connect the plow to the front, to the back of the tractor. So you connect the plow first. You have hose hookups, and look at all those hose hookups. 6 hose hookups. Wow. Now, come over here, and then we would hook up the cultivator portion. And it also has hose hookups. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And now what we can do is we can basically plow and cultivate a 6-meter working width. 2 separate implements. Quite a road train here. And of course, use the plow independent of the cultivator. What I want to also check is to see if we can use the cultivator in addition to the plow. Now, let's take a look here. Oh, okay. I was noticing when I was pulling this behind the tractor on the road that it was not tracking straight behind the tractor. It's set off to the left. And what you can do is you can left click and just move your mouse to the left or right to more center that on trailing behind the tractor. Go ahead and get started. Let's get set up to make a run down the field here. See how this all works. First thing we're going to do is we're going to select the plow and we're going to unfold the plow. Let's do this again. Some of that animation looked a little weird. Oh no. What's going on with those bars? Should they be doing that? I think they need to be moving together with those, maybe? Think? Take a look. They move together for a period of time and then they separate. Then it goes ahead and swings out. Now let's go ahead and toggle back and unfold that one. See how it looks. Some big old pistons there. This thing is built. It is built for heavy duty. And have some print modeled on the hoses there. That's pretty cool. What we're going to do is we're going to lower the front. We're going to lower the rear. And you can see that we are plowing and then cultivating right behind it. And the way this is working, it is significantly offset from the tractor. So on the left edge, the plow texture is basically following the tractor's left tires, but on the right, it is definitely way out on the side of the tractor there. You just go in here and disconnect the rear. Obviously plow with this if we just want to plow. Now what I want to check and see is if we can cultivate with just the roller on the back. And if I hadn't mentioned this, this mod is by the mod author Not Ready. Yep. If we wish, we can use this in a standalone cultivator mode. Act as a roller, and we can use the plow as a standalone plow, or we could marry them together and get both jobs done in one single pass. Pretty cool mod indeed. So next up we've got the Challenger MT900E Field Anaconda. Go ahead and take a look at this. This is the Anaconda snake skinned variant of the in-game Challenger MT900E series tractor that starts out at 536 horsepower and $425,000. And here we have the skinned version of the MT900E, $435,000. So we got to pay a cool 10 G's for the Anaconda basically skin. And it is also starting out at $536,000. And take a look at this thing. It is mean, nasty, and a little worrisome. It takes a special person to like a tractor like this. Get it in all of the same engine configurations as the default in-game Challenger. 536, 591, 646 horsepower. And all of the normal wheel configurations. Go ahead and lease one of these. Take a look at the leasing price while we're in here. We already said the purchase price was $435,000. It's $22,185 to initially lease this tractor. $4,350 per day and $9,135 per operating hour on that lease. So I want to not congratulate, but thank Mark DuPont for pointing this out to me. He pointed out that the Challenger is an anaconda skin, and anacondas are constrictors. They don't have fangs, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with the fangs. Other than it's just to make the darn thing look scary. You're not going to find me driving this around on the fields. I'm not a big fan of the snake skins, but I'm sure somebody is, and somebody will love and cherish this little tractor to the fullest extent that they are capable of, but not me. Again, this is the Challenger MT900E by Giant Software in the Anaconda skin. Now, while we're looking at tractors, let's go ahead and look at the Deutz AgraStar Clearview. Found here under small tractors. We have the Deutz AgraStar, $17,968 for 107 horsepower with a top speed of 24 miles per hour. Take a look here at the Fiat, $59,000 for 150 horsepower, 15 miles per hour top speed. Next cheapest is the Valtra A series for 100 horsepower, $65,000. Wow. So nearly $50,000 cheaper. Same top speed, a little more horsepower out of this thing. Let's take a look and see what kind of configuration options we have here. This mod is by Puma, who appears to be a member of the FBM modding team. So we have our choice of rim color. We have a choice of standard configuration, 360 kilogram front weights, 500 kilogram front weights, 760 kilogram front weights, 1010 kilogram front weights, front hydraulic and 3-point hitch, and then back to standard. I was going to say, maybe this tractor's Achilles heel is it doesn't have a front 3-point hitch, but it does indeed. We have Michelin tires, Trelleborg tires in a narrow brand, and we can also get it in wide with wheel weights, rear twins, and narrow tires. Midas tires in standard configuration and wide configuration. And Nokian tires, communal wide. And let's go back to the Michelin. We can get them in standard. Wide tires are basically standard. We have the AgraStar 6.08 engine, which gives us 107 horsepower. You can get up to 115, 130, 143 horsepower. Oh my gosh. 143 horsepower with the AgraStar 6.38 Special. I did notice that the exhaust changes when we go to the AgraStar Special. Get an exhaust pipe on the side here, as opposed to all the other tractors have an exhaust out the front. Good. And then we can get it with front loader attacher or not. So let's go ahead and get one of these. That engine configuration and in this engine configuration. So as equipped, with 143 horsepower, we have $31,869 to buy, $1,625 to lease, $318 per day, and $669 per operating hour. Look at these little babies. Looks pretty darn sweet. Go ahead and get on in and see. Well, I can see exactly what they're saying by Clearview. I'm going to go ahead and pop on my head tracker so that we can take a look around, because my mouse is currently locked as a result of the head tracking being enabled. Alright, now that we got the head tracking on, let's recenter it here and just take a little look around. Very clear dash. Nice controls. Really nice looking seat. Do we have anything special in here? No. Let's take a look. Does our dash light up? Our dash does light up. We do have... Oh, let's see here. We do have lighting indicators. Take a look on the outside. We've got front lights, rear lights, and top working lights. Got four-way flashers on the front and back, left and right. You have brakes. We do not have reverse lights. It's okay. Let's see. Oh. What we got? Animated gear shifts. Animated pedals there in the bottom. Let's see. Let's hook this up to these front loader arms and just have a general, just get a general view of how things look. This has got the bigger engine with the exhaust out the side. Ears aren't too bad. I'm not really sure what they're looking at as far as the frame of reference goes. Let's go ahead and get a loader bucket. Or let's get, more importantly, let's get a bale spike. Let's see, where did the bale spike? There it is. See if we can't go over here and see if we can't get a bale. Looks like I'm gonna have to get some stuff out of the way. Thought I was parking stuff out of the way. Didn't think this through well enough. Oh, the lights come on when you start the engine too. Take a look at that. Let's take a look at the top lights there. You like check warning light, oil pressure light, battery light. All come on when you go. Not too bad. Too bad as far as visibility goes. Alright. Go over here and try this tractor out here with the exhaust pipe in the middle. A little bit more, less visibility there as a result of having the exhaust in the middle. Still, it's not too bad. The nose weighed down like that, you can really see, really get the sense that you can see very well out in front of you. Guys, that is the Deutz Agra Star Clearview by Puma of the FBM team, and it is for PC and console platforms. Next up, we're going to take a quick look at the Case IH 1030 14-foot cutter trailer. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and activate the 1060 harvester or the header that goes with it, but this is basically the companion trailer for that harvester. It's very, very similar to the TX32 header trailer that is also 14 foot, but I've tried to use this particular trailer with the Case 1060 header, and it works okay. Not the best, but it works okay. On a series that I'm working, I found this header trailer to want to wander. If I come up beside it with a tractor that has loader arms, and a bail on it for some odd reason. Just starts wanting to walk away and just drift. So I'm hoping that this particular trailer does not have that same activity. This trailer is $2,600 to buy, $132 to lease, $26 per day, and $54 per operating hour. This mod is by Matt26 and is available for PC and console players. Let's go ahead and let's get back in our little Dude's Agra star here. Look up to it. Just see how the lights work. We have brake lights. We don't have reverse lights. We have our four-ways, left and right blinkers. There's not much to be said here. It is a bale trailer. There we go. Next up, we've got the Giant Software Burgman GTW 430 auger wagon. This mod was part of the standard fare of equipment in Farm Sim 17, but has made its way into 19 as a mod. $87,000 to purchase, 43,000 liters storage capacity. Now let's take a look and see how that compares to the other in-game auger wagons. Let's take a look at the Stara Ninja 1900, 19,000 liters. Kinsey 851, 30,000 liters. The 1051 is 37,000 liters. The Elmer's Hallmaster is a massive 70,000 liters. So the Burgman comes in right between the Kinsey and the Elmer's as far as capacity goes. It falls in there pretty good as far as the pricing between the two. And it holds all of the standard grains in the game as well as seed and fertilizer. As far as options go, we have wheel brand. We can change from Michelin to Trelleborg. And that is pretty much our only options. $87,000, as I said, to purchase. $4,437 to lease. $870 per day. $1,827 per operating hour. This does list as requiring 280 horsepower to pull this thing, and no doubt, see how big it is, you will understand why it's going to need that much horsepower. Let's go ahead and shut off this tractor. Don't need it. And what we're going to do is, I guess, let's use the good old Anaconda skinned tractor here. I didn't bother turning on the lights because, well, it's a Giants mod. It should work, right? So we do have steering rear axles, or steering front and rear axle actually on this particular auger wagon. Unfold it with O key, pipe out. Left mouse and side to side will move the, I guess the dump there. Right mouse button, side to side, will then raise and lower pipe. Then we can hit N to open and close cover. Something I do wish Giants would implement is a little more animation on the cover opening and closing. I mean, we have a nice smooth animation for the pipe out. Can we have a nice smooth animation for the open and close cover? I think so. Don't see why we couldn't. I'm sure somebody will give me a reasoning as to why it's not possible. But if one's possible, I think the other is probably going to be possible. just the amount of work somebody might want to put into it. And again, this was a Giants mod, the Burgman GTW 430 auger wagon. Next up, we're going to continue our trend with respect to trailers, meaning that you could loosely say that the auger wagon is a trailer. We're going to look at the Demmer, the Demmer, DEMMLER, the Demler. Say that, the Demler TSM 330L. Be found here over in trailers. It is by Agra Technic Nordfell again, and this one has some interesting configuration options. First off, it's $69,000 to purchase, $3,519 to lease, $690 per day, and $1,449 per operating hour. We can change our main color, should we so wish. And then we can change our configuration from standard to an extension. And it looks like the extension also increases our capacity from 4,100 liters to 46,000 liters. Sorry, 41,000 liters to 46,000 liters. We can also change the tires. We have a Michelin, and we can go the Cargo X bib to the Mega X bib. We have the Trelleborg tires. We have Trend Radial T404. And that is it. So let's go ahead and get one of these. Take a look at it. This one is really interesting. We've got, once again, lots of hoses. Let's see how they hook up. And we've got a combination of materials and textures here. Got a really nice painted side here, and then we've got galvanized steel along the rear, along the top extension, and here along the sides and the front. Looks like this is a pusher trailer, meaning that it does not tip up. Basically, the wall front pushes back to unload grain. So let's go ahead and I guess we'll use our Anaconda Challenger one more time to hook up to this one and see how it works. So it also has steering axles on the front and rear of the trailer. And we're going to have to get out of the shop area so we can do a force unload. You can see the front pushes back to push the crop out of the rear of the gate. Oh, look at that. And then the top tips up. That is an interesting setup, to say the least. We do have hose hookups. Once again, lots of hose hookups. Well, let's see how this stuff retracts. See, the hoses are folding up there quite nice. I think they shrink a little bit, but at any rate, hold up quite nice. And we can tip side back, or we can select tip side grain door. Those are our options there. Pretty cool trailer, if you ask me. Alright. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at some front weights and rear weights. First up, we have the weight SBG. This is by Matt 26. It is an Interesting thing. We have a big old block. It's half rounded or half circled. Change the main color on this to whatever we want. So 10,000 or sorry, 10,000. $1,050 to purchase, $100 should you choose to repaint it. $58 operating lease. $58 operating lease, $11 per day, and $24 per operating hour. That's if let's cancel out. Let's go back in. $53 to lease if you don't change the color, $10 per day, and $22 per operating hour. And then we've got another weight. We've got the Duo Mass SB 600 kilogram front weight. It is by Gamer8250. This weight is for PCs only. Now let me see. What is the other weight? Both weights are for PC only. This weight has no configuration options. Is $1,000 in the store, $51 operating cost to lease, $10 per day, and $21 per operating hour. Now it looks like this one has a little trick. Looks like it has a little toolbox that we can open. Want to explore that. And to do that, we're going to use our New Holland again. Got hooked up to our front weight. Doesn't appear that we have any mouse functions with this. And it does not appear that we have any menu functions with this to open and close this little front area here, which looks like it could serve as a pretty cool toolbox. Imagine if someone would put the a repair trigger in there, open the toolbox, and then do some repairs. That would be pretty nifty indeed. It looks like we do have a front hitch. I want to get a small trailer and just see if indeed we do have a front hitch or not. Let's get this trailer here. Go ahead and hook up to our trailer if it will work. Looks like we do have a front hitch. Try the other weight. What we're going to do with this weight is we're just going to put it on the back. Let's see, is this a hitch or is this just for decoration? Oh, we can indeed hook up to both of these weights, at least with a hitch that has a round circle. This hitch style right there, as opposed to the ball hitch. We're going to do something a little bit different. Typically, I would go through all the implements and tools before we move over to placeables, but we're going to jump actually to a different map entirely to go over some of these forestry mods. So what I want to do now is we're going to run up here to our testing pad where we put down placeables and such in order to test some of those. While we're going up here, let's talk about the engine brake effect. Less engine brake force mod. Now this is just a script mod it's going to be pretty hard for me to let's go inside. This is just a script mod. It's going to be pretty hard for me to basically tell you or show you what it does. But what it does is it basically reduces the brake force that the engine is providing by about 20%. So I guess the mod author, who is Patar, P-A-T-A-R, Patar, must feel that the engine brake force is a little bit too drastic, and this mod will basically just reduce that. Basically, as you let off the tractor, you slow down less without having to hit the brake. Without this mod, I assume I would be slowing down at an increased rate than what I am now, as a result of having the in-game brake force that the engine is able to supply. So what we're going to take a look at now are some placeables. And first up is the Euro Tunnel Pack by DD Mod Passion. What this Euro Tunnel Pack includes is a single arch with different widths, 6.5 meters, 8.5 meters, 9.3, 10.4, and 12 meters. Each width you can choose different lengths, 4.8 meters, 9.6, 14.4, or 19.2. Interesting. Let's go ahead and go on into our placeable section. Our sheds, and here are the huge selection of Euro tunnels. We've got the single arch, 6.5 meters. That's 4.8 meters in length. This one is 9.6 meters in length, 14.4 are 19.2. Let's get one of this size. And then let's get the second size up on the second one. This one has an arc that is 8.5 meters. We're going to get it in a 9.6 meter length. Then we have the 9.3 meter arch. We're going to get it in a 14.4 meter length. And then finally we have the 10.4, no, not finally, sorry. Then we have the 10.4 meter arch. Get it in 19.2 meters in length. And then finally we have the 12 meter arch that we'll also get in the 19.4 meter length. Let's take a look at all these. These are all fairly straightforward, fairly easy and simple. A fabric arch over a metal, looks like aluminum frame. It's fairly short. A little bit wider, a little bit taller, a little bit longer. Same with this one. Same with this one. And then we've got the biggest one here at 12 meters wide and 19.2 meters long. Up on top. Cool. And this mod, again, is by DD Mod Passion, and it is for, interestingly enough, PC, Mac, and PS4. Typically, you see PC, Mac, PS4, and Xbox One. But for the Euro Tunnel Pack, it only says PC, Mac, and PS4. Next up, we're going to look at a small horse paddock. This small horse pasture can accommodate 2 horses in an area of about 16 meters by 20 meters square. Go ahead and take a look. Under animal pens, we've got the horse paddock, the small modded horse paddock, $8,000. Compare that to the in-game small horse paddock of $50,000. Only have 2 horses in this thing, and boy, is she a little. Now, when you rotate this, it appears to rotate a little off-center. Go ahead and put her down. You put this down, it does change the ground texture to a grass ground texture and does put growable grass, I suppose, inside the building. We have here is we have our water trough, which is a old bathtub. And we've got our triggers here. Straw trigger, our feed trigger, and we need to figure out how to get in this building here. Oh, we just walk up here to the this area, and we left click to basically take the rope or the cable down. Left click again to put it back up. Where we would buy our 2 horses. There they are. Put this rope back up. There you go, guys. We've got the small horse paddock by no.naim. No name, I guess, is how he wants to be known. Now we have 2 placeable tree packs, and there is now an abundance of placeable trees for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the first one. I hope we're going to be able to differentiate themselves without us having to go in here and deactivate one for the other. Yep, alright, we're good. First placeable tree pack we're going to look at is called Placeable Trees. And it is by DTP Mario. There are 5 birches, 6 pines, 5 spruces, and 1 poplar tree in this mix. And this is for PC and consoles, respectively. Got the small birch for $100. Down there. Medium birch for $300. Large birch for $700. And the extra large birch for $1,500. Then we get a dead birch for $500. Small pine, $50. Got the medium pine for $150. Large pine for $450. Extra large pine for $1,500. The giant pine, that thing, for $1,900, and a dead pine tree for $1,700. Got the poplar for $2,500. Got a small spruce for $50. Medium spruce for $100. Large spruce for $150. Extra large spruce for $350. A giant spruce for $2,100. And that is it as far as the placeable tree pack by DTP Mario. Let's take a look at these trees real quick. Got the small birch all the way up to the large birch. Got our dead birch tree over here. Have the small pine leading up to the extra large pine, then the large or extra large dead pine, big old poplar tree, and then here we have our spruce trees over here. Next up, we're going to take a look at the More Tree pack. It is by VNS FDG2. It is also for all platforms, PC and consoles. And you can delineate the two tree packs by, this one has More Tree icon because it is named More Tree, and the other is a lizard brand. And this particular tree pack includes birch, pine, spruce, maple, beech, and palm trees. Take a look at those real quick. You have birch. Put these over here. $100, $50, $800, a big jump. $1,200. $1,800. There's a big old maple. $2,450. We have a beech for $3,100. Palm tree for $1,090. Palm tree for $2,500. $2,800 for this particular palm tree. $3,800 for that one. And $6,000. That one right there. Wow. Got a spruce for $150. $480. $1,080. $2,300. $3,700. With the pine tree. $220. $600. $1,200. $1,600. $3,400 for the big pine. And then we've got the small birch, medium birch, large birch, extra large birch, and a dead birch. Go with a pine. Medium. Thought we already covered this. Oh, nope, sorry. What am I doing? I was looking at the wrong trees. I got in a roll, and basically I was looking at the wrong trees. These are from the other tree pack. Oh, here. These are from the other tree pack. I just got carried away. Let's go over here and take a look at the More trees. Be able to decorate up your farm exactly how you want, no matter where you're deciding to have your farm based, because we do have pine trees also. Quite interesting. Now let's check. In our garage, do we get giant trees? Nope. Trees do not show up in the garage. Oh, yes they do. Sorry. So it looks like the trees with the placeable trees pack do show up in the garage, whereas the trees in the or tree pack do not. So I could go in here and I could sell trees that I don't want. Just basically doing this. But I can't sell the other trees same way. The other trees, I'm going to have to go in here and cut these down in order to get rid of them. These trees over here, with the placeable tree pack, I can basically just sell. So let's take a look at next placeable mod, which is the what is it called? Placeable ground decals. Let's go over here in the sunlight and let's take a look at that. See, I think they are under decoration again. And this mod is for PC and consoles. And here we go. We can do a manhole cover for just $100. Just place it. We can rotate it around where we want it. Now, the description does suggest that you put this down on flat ground. Put it. Oh, there it is. You put it down on flat ground because I suspect that this will not conform to uneven ground. All right, let's go ahead and just deliberately put it down here over here where we know we have uneven ground. Just see what it will do. Run over here now. See what it does. Well, it just doesn't work out so well. Okay, so be sure you put it down on even ground, and that means if you need to go into the terraforming area and do the flatten command, flatten the ground before you put this down, I would strongly suggest it. We also have concrete damage for $100. This one just does a little strip, and you notice when I place it down here, it rotates all by itself. I could, oops, wrong option. I could rotate this manually if I wanted to, but when I put it down, it's rotating itself. Just pretty cool to then be able to introduce, you know, some randomization. Now I'm getting flashing there because I put multiple textures down on top of each other. See how that really does then add to the overall look of things. Got one more. Concrete damage 1. This would be just a little dot. Oil slick longish. Again, when we put it down, it will rotate, and we can come in here and rotate this ourselves, should we so wish. And then we have oil slick quadric. Big old square. Let's go over and take a look at these. I put this. Tracks. Oil slicks. The larger squares. Oil slicks. I think how they rotate is pretty darn cool. Just make sure I got them all. Yep, we did indeed. And that mod is by Rival. It is for PC and console. Let me just check real quick. I think at this point we have covered all of the mods except for the forestry pack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to boot up a different map with the forestry mods set up so that we can go over how the forestry mod works. I'll be right back. So we're over here on Black Mountain, Montana, to show you these forestry mods, simply because the two in-game, the two standard game maps just really don't have enough trees around, in my opinion, to really merit setting up a forestry segment. So first we're going to take a look at the BioBelts UM300 Forestry Mulcher. This mod is by Toxic Ohm, and this is for PC and consoles. This particular mod requires 80 horsepower, has a 3-meter working width, and is $2,499 to buy in the shop. Let's take a look at it here in the shop. Go to Tools and then Forestry Equipment. Forestry Equipment. Have the UM300 here. $2,499 to buy. $127 to lease, $24 per day, and $52 per operating hour. Can change the main color on this particular mod, should we so wish, and we can change the standard to work lights. Put work lights there on the front. So, I've got a vent here already set up, and I want to show you some of the tricks that this particular mod has available to it. First off, you can see I've got a path here of cut grass. This particular mod not only chips, or not chips, but basically grinds stumps, but it also will, we lower it and we turn it on. It will basically mow or destroy the grass that it runs over. Doesn't leave a windrow. It basically does something magically, gets rid of the grass entirely. The grass will likely regrow, but it will allow you to basically clear an area so that you can pretty much, see what you're working with. Like for example, here we've cut down a few trees, and well, it might be a little bit hard to find trees or the stumps with all this grass growing. You come in here and you can cut down the grass with the stump grinder here. Pretty cool. Now this thing has two other really great functions available to it. First off, let's use it to take out a couple stumps. Now these are fairly small trees and fairly small stumps, but the principle is the same. What you're going to do is you're going to come up to a tree stump and just come over it, and it's gone. And it gets rid of tree stumps lickety split. There we got another one going, and there's a couple more here. Let's see here. There went one. And there's one over here. I had a hard time getting this tree to cut down. It's actually lots of little bits of tree over here on this one. Alright, now let me show you another little trick that this particular grinder has. We walk up to any tree. That'd be a fairly small tree, I think. Alright, we just cut the tree and took out the stump. And watch this. This is the case of the disappearing tree. Where is the tree going? It's basically just getting destroyed. And the tree's gone. Now, we didn't get any money for it. But let's go over here and try out these nasty trees that are usually hard to get rid of. And see if we can take one of these down. Oh, we can't cut it down, so let's cut it down with this. I find the one tree on the map that I can't cut. Find the one tree on the map I can't cut. Try this one up here. Can't cut that one either. Oh, it says I don't have access to the land. Let's try this one over here. Let me cut this one. Let's see, can we destroy it? I said I've not tested this before, so this is going to be a complete experiment. Looks like I can. I just ground down some of that branch. Try to get this up on the hill. And let's see. Will this eat the tree? Not like it wanted to. It'll do it, but it's going to take itself a little bit of time. Might be a little finicky with these other style trees. But I think you all kind of get the point. That is the BioBelts UM300 Forestry Mulcher. Now, next up, I want to show you is the Ritter FG45. This thing is rather interesting. It is a front loader attachment. It is by STR Dealers and Lexic, I believe is how you pronounce them. It is available for PC only. The way it works is you hook it up to a front loader, and it's basically just a grapple. Now, I did learn in trying to set this up is that, see, we can unhook it like that. Now, if I close the claw and then try to unhook it, it says that I can't unhook it in that state. So you have to have the claw open in order to disconnect this particular attachment. Let's take a look at it here in the shop. So once again, under forestry equipment, and it's kind of similar to this, except this extends. Here we have the Ritter FG45. $3,000 to buy, no configuration options. $153 to lease, $30 per day, and $63 per operating hour. Pull up the F1 menu. This is pretty much how it works. We're going to pull up to a log that we want to pick up. Probably be good to have a rear weight on. Let's drop down here the log we wish to pick up. Of course, left mouse, we have the standard front loader functions. Right mouse seems to have gone away. If I click both left and right mouse button, I can I can move my mouse up and down to grab the claw or release the claw. And I can move the mouse left and right, and I can rotate the claw. Get in here. Okay, we can grab the log. Probably be best if we had a rear weight or a bigger tractor, and at this point we can basically manhandle the log around a little bit if we wanted to. Okay. It said you could use this to load a log onto a trailer. I mean, it would need to be a pretty small trailer, I think, and you wouldn't be loading a big old a tree at all. This, you'd probably be loading a smaller log that was cut up, maybe a log that was this much length. You could basically bring it over here to, let's say, this Komatsu. If you will. And then open up the claw, drop your log in. There you go. So now the next mod I want to show you guys is this tank right here. This is a fuel tank, and this thing is pretty interesting. This mod is by Chris Joe. And the way this works, let's take a look at it here in the shop first. Under forestry equipment, we have fuel tank, $8,500 to buy, $433 to lease, $85 per day, and $178 per operating hour. I'll tell you, I probably would suggest leasing this. This would probably be the best thing to lease, simply because I don't know how this is going to rack up the operating hours. But typically operating hours count if you have something attached. But this is basically going to be sitting on the ground pretty much all the time. We have choice of design, Ponzi 1, Komatsu 1, Ponzi 2, and Komatsu 2. We also get a little number here on the tank. And we can change the main color, whatever we want, and the design color, whatever we want. Now the design color is the steps there. I was hoping the design color would be the graphic. Okay. I'll go ahead and lease this. And I want to show you how this works. And I'm going to use this claw just for the purpose of this demonstration. And I'm actually going to hook up this mulcher as a counterweight, because this mulcher seems to be pretty heavy. And I'll be able to use this counterweight. I'm going to run over here to the shop, which is right next door. This is a pretty interesting design, how this works. This is basically a forestry fuel tank, and the way this is designed to work is it's designed to basically pick up with a claw like this. Okay, designed to pick up like that. Now let's get a semi here. And basically what it does is it actually attaches to the back of the semi here, whoa, for transport. Run over a tree. or something. Any rate. Got an empty fuel tank there. What we do is we can back this up under the fuel tank. You see we get an attach option. What I'm going to do is we're going to lower this down and basically drop it. Okay. We're going to hit Q to attach. Now the tank has been attached to the truck. Now I wish it wouldn't just... It almost like free spins on the attacher joint. I wish it was locked down a little bit better. What you can do now is come over here and fill it up with fuel. And it holds 970 liters of fuel. Okay? And I'm not going to finish fueling that one up because we're going to jump back over to here. We're going to drop off the mulcher. Not going to need that anymore. Drop that off because we're not going to need that anymore. And what it allows us to do is refuel our forestry equipment in the forest. We can set the tank down like we have here. And then we just come up next to it and we get refill. And obviously this tractor doesn't need refilling, but we can refill our equipment right from there. And at 970 liters, basically the mod author says that we have basically about enough fuel to fill the trailer, or fuel our favorite piece of equipment about twice. Probably he's talking about the Scorpion King or the I'm talking about the Scorpion King or the Komatsu. I'm going to get a different tractor because I can't raise and lower 3-point hitch on that one for some reason. Work with this one. Whoa. And the next mod that I want to show you guys is one of my all-time favorite logging mods. It is the, let me look where I'm going. TAJ Fun, Taj Fun EGV 80AHK. Now that is a big mouthful. What this mouthful is, basically, it is a logging winch and a logging blade to push your logs around. Let me show you how this thing works. This is designed to connect to the back of your tractor. So. And you can raise and lower. Raise and lower it. Okay, and the way it works is we have a winch on the back and a logging blade that we can use to push things around with. So, for example, this tree, I can basically push it around like this. Get it lined up how I want. I can take this tree here and basically push it there. I can take both of these trees and push them there. I can take, if I want, and push the trees together. This. Okay, so you get the point. Now let's take a look at the winch function. First thing we want to do is we want to turn on the winch. So B. Okay. Now once the winch is turned on, I'm going to come over here to the log with our little hand. You see the little hand grab? And we're going to hit B to attach object. First thing I want to do is I want to attach it to this one. Okay. And what you see is now we have a chain wrapped around the tree. We've got a hook, and then we've got our cable leading back up here to our winch. Okay, and since we turned the winch on, okay, we can use a remote. Z, what? Winch on. All right, first off, you need to have automatic engine start turned off, okay? That way the tractor is running. Okay, so we turn the winch back on. We're going to hit Z. And now we are going to be between the winch and the tractor. We can hit Z, and now we are winching our log ever so slowly. If we hold Shift Z, it will speed up the log winching. Shift Z goes faster. Now what I like to do is, watch this. We can attach that one. And we can attach that one. So now we got 3 logs attached. And now we're pulling all 3 logs. Okay. Jump back in the tractor here. Basically maneuver these logs however we want. Get out. We can come over here to, and we can click X. Buttons, here we go. Not really sure what release rope via winch is doing. It's not doing anything. But if I hit B, I'll basically disconnect chain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this forward a little bit. I'm going to lower the blade to kind of act as a brace. I come over here. You can see the F1 menu. The rope chain length is going down. We have basically 50 meters worth of chain. I'm going to winch to that. What I want to do is I want to winch this basically up. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Did not want to do that. That'll work too. What I wanted to do is I'm trying to get these 3 together. Okay, we're going to go ahead and attach that one too. And what we can do now is basically bring these logs out to a clearing. Okay. And what we can then do is basically push these logs together, let's say, get them all nice and orderly, and then we can basically use our chainsaw to cut them to length. Or if they were already cut to length, we could basically use this to basically get our logs bunched up, and then we could come in here with something to basically pick them up and load them a lot easier. So again, this is the Taj Fun EGV80 AHK logging winch. It is by author 50 KEDA, 50 Kita, and it has to be probably one of my most favorite logging bits of equipment from 17, now brought into Farm Sim 19. So guys, with that is going to conclude our weekend roundup for February 11th through February 15th. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And until next week, happy farming.